So let's just revise the conditions of hydrolysis of different inorganic compounds very quickly. There are three conditions that needs to be satisfied. The condition number one, there should be vacant orbital. Vacant orbital on whom should there be? Vacant orbital should be there on the element that is pertaining the delta plus charge. To understand, we can do certain examples. For example, BCl3, boron has delta plus, it has empty 2p orbital, one of the 2p orbitals is empty. Will it show hydrolysis? Yes. BF3, control C, control V, delta plus on boron, empty p orbital, yes. CF4, delta plus on carbon, but there is no empty orbital. It's a second period element. You can see that after excitation, all the four orbitals are occupied to show sp3 hybridization. No hydrolysis possible in CF4. NF3, nitrogen has a delta plus, no vacant orbital, no hydrolysis. NCl3, interestingly, chlorine here has delta plus, which has an empty 3d orbital. So hydrolysis is possible. Next, OF2, you have oxygen, which is less electronegative as compared to fluorine. Fluorine is the most electronegative element. Remember FON, FON. So OF2, oxygen has delta plus, no empty orbital, no hydrolysis. PCl3, phosphorus has the delta plus. Phosphorus, third period element, has empty 3d orbital. Yes, what is possible? Hydrolysis is possible. SF4, coordination number here, I should say steric number here, because we have trigonal bipyramidal geometry, pi shape coming up. It does have ability for water to come in its, in the surrounding. It can attack the sulfur, which has the delta plus, which also has the empty orbital. So yes, hydrolysis is possible. SF6 is the only exception that we have just found out, where condition number 3 is not satisfied. So along with the element having vacant orbital and pertaining delta plus, should be having absence of steric crowding. So coordination number 6, that means steric number 6, in fact, I should say, because we are now talking about the covalent compound. So steric number 6 has how many? 6 elements surrounding the central element, which has delta plus. So entry of water is kind of very restricted. Hydrolysis is meant to be lysis with the help of water. So no hydrolysis. Now we will understand the product of hydrolysis. Are you ready for the product of hydrolysis? Huh? Okay. So I can see that there have been questions related to product of hydrolysis as well, of not all the compounds, but we'll do all the important ones, okay? So let's get started. BCl3 only let's begin with. So you can just open BCl3. Now that you know, it will show the hydrolysis. This we are sure now. What you're going to do is you're going to write water in this manner. HOH. OH is like delta minus and H is like delta plus. And the game is all about opposite attracts. So we have delta plus. Who will go with delta plus? Just do it by the box method, which is the easiest method to deal with. With the plus give minus, with the minus give plus, and you will be sorted for life. Okay, so you can see that delta plus here will be OH and here will be H. OH, H. OH, H. So what do you end up getting? You end up getting BOH3. This is H3BO3. Remember, boric acid. So please check. This should be the product. This is absolutely right. This will really help you. Okay, now let's deal with the NCl3. NCl3, nitrogen. Please see, nitrogen 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 by 2 is 4. So it should have tetrahedral geometry and pyramidal shape, NCl3 would look like this. But here, our delta plus was available on chlorine. Don't mess that out, okay? Here, delta plus is here. Opposite to what we had just done. So what should we do? We should cleave it in this manner, that OH here, H here, OH here, H here, OH here, H here. What should be the product of hydrolysis? NH3 and HOCl. Please check. This should be the product of hydrolysis now. Okay? Please see. Are you following it up? Let's see anything else which is there. PCl3, which has been asked in your NEET examination. Third one, PCl3 has been asked. Phosphorus 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, just like NCl3, PCl3 looks like this. But now it's just different from NCl3. Now where do you have delta plus? You're smart, you know. Here is delta plus, here is delta minus. Opposite attracts, right? Water in such a way that plus ke saath there is minus. So OH here, H here, OHH, OHH. Now here is a little knowledge that you need to know. What you get, I'll write it like this and then we'll tell you what's going on. So a little knowledge is required. What you get is POH 3 like this. Now let me tell you, this is not very stable. You would have not seen POH 3 like this. The moment it has a possibility of showing a phosphorus hydrogen bond. So you should know that how H3PO3 looks like. This is your phosphorus acid. So you should have a knowledge of how it looks like. So actually you can think of this hydrogen. So this bond comes here and hydrogen attaches to phosphorus. So do you remember what kind of this movement is called? 1 to 3rd. It is going from here to here. What is this? What can we call this? Double bond O. So I can write it like this rather. What can we call it? So it's kind of like a tautomerization, if you see, which is happening, barring that there is no carbon here. But yeah, movement of the proton from one nucleic center to another is happening in a way, right? It doesn't exist like this. It exists like this. There is a pH bond here, correct? So please note what you get is phosphorus acid here. I hope this makes sense. But if I'm going to give you PCl5, this is your fourth case. If I give you PCl5, you know that PCl5 looks like this. Then what should be formed? In this case, what should be formed? Please see. Correct, correct. So what you can do is you can just put all the OHs here. So you will get POH5. And you know that there is nothing called POH5, right? The maximum it can have is OHH, 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 right? So you can see there is a removal of H2O that can happen. So that what you end up getting is, see, life and chemistry is all about stability. So what you will get is PO, how many? 4. And hydrogens, how many now? We have 3 hydrogens left after the removal of water. So H3PO4, H3PO4, पहचान कौन? हाँ, phosphoric acid. So these are the classic cases which has been asked from the hydrolysis. Okay, and you must know it. You should know what ideally should be the most stable form. A bit of the knowledge of the structure is needed. The knowledge of the names is needed. This knowledge of names will really help you out. So if I'm starting with phosphorus acid, right? Then you know H3PO4. What's the name? Phosphoric acid. To phosphoric acid, you add one oxygen. What do you get? You get H3PO5 per phosphoric acid. Can you check what will be the name? Per phosphoric acid. If you remove one oxygen from here, what will you get? H3PO. Remove one oxygen, you will get H3PO3. What is the name now? It is phosphorus acid. The names are equally important. From this, again, if you remove one oxygen, what do you get? H3PO2. What is the name? Can you tell? What is the name of this H3PO2? What's the name? What's the name? Hypophosphorus acid. Most of the times you will see that 2,1-ic acid, if you directly remove water, if 2,1-ic acid, you directly remove water, what you get is metaphosphoric acid. So what you will get if you remove directly, now it might not be the actual form, maybe its dimeric form or a trimeric form is existing, but generally, for example, boric acid, H3BO3, you will see that if I remove water from here, I will get HBO2. Now this kind of a structure is called metaboric acid. So the term meta comes, okay? So if you directly remove water, H2O, so HPO3. Now you will see that this doesn't exist, but a homologue of this will also be called a metaphosphoric acid. Means if I just write N here, N can be any whole number. So H2P2O6, that will be metaphosphoric acid. Okay, and then there is anything else? Let me see. So per phosphoric acid, meta. Do you know what is going to be the name if I multiply it by 2 and remove water? What do I mean by that? Multiply by 2 means H6P2O8. You multiplied this with 2. Now you subtract water. So you get H4P2O7. What is the name of this compound? Any idea? H4P2O7. Any idea? So most of the times you will see that if you multiply an acid with 2 and remove water, correct, you will get pyroacids. These are called pyroacids. So the name here will be pyrophosphoric acid. You can do with the us acid also the same thing. For example, to the us acid, if I'm multiplying by 2 and removing water, I will get H4P2O6 minus water. I will get H2P2O5. This will be called now pyrophosphorus acid. Do you understand? The name will now be pyrophosphorus acid. So the names, I hope, has given you a great meaning. We have different names possible as well. I'm giving you a very generic, very unanimous way of remembering different acids. For example, now if I have HClO4, here it's a little different. Here HClO3 is called chloric acid. To chloric acid, if I add one oxygen where chlorine is in highest oxidation state, this is what we call as perchloric acid. Now, if I remove one oxygen from here, I will get HClO2. This is chlorous acid. Similarly, if I remove another oxygen from this, I will get HOCl, what you got as one of the products. Right now, remember, this was product of hydrolysis in dash, fill the dash. HOCl, which is your hypophosphorus acid. Because you just, how am I writing phosphorus? Because we have just chlorus, to it we are removing one oxygen. So it becomes hypochlorous acid, right? So in this case, we use it in organic chemistry also. This was the product of what? We saw it as a product of one of them. Yeah, NCl3. We just saw that. Okay, now similarly, you can do it for bromic acid, bromous acid, hypobromous acid, and we will have perbromic acid. Similarly, if I talk about fluoric acid, do you remember HOF, hypofluorous acid, is possible? HFO2 is possible. Have you ever heard something like HFO2? HOF is possible. This is your hypofluorous acid. All the oxy acids you should know of halogen. Anything else is possible? Please tell yes or a no. No. Okay, right? Hafnia. What is Hafnia? Or who is Hafnia, I should ask. So I hope this is clear. Now the product of hydrolysis is clear. You also got cleared with the where there will be hydrolysis, where there will be no hydrolysis. Okay, now I am going to give you these compounds which we were discussing. Now to these acids that we were saying. For example, we take, again coming back to the product of hydrolysis. So first thing is to figure out the structure that I just told you. Calculated oxidation state greater than the maximum oxidation state, peroxy linkage is possible. Calculated oxidation state is equal to the maximum oxidation state, oxy bond is possible. Calculated oxidation state is less than the maximum oxidation state, element-element bond is possible, right? Okay, now I have a question for you. What will be the product of hydrolysis of H2S2? I think the first one that we did was this, H2S2O7. Please tell me the product of hydrolysis of H2S2O7. So first thing that you shall be needing is the structure. Once you know the structure, you can handle it, correct? Okay, so you know that we will have a structure which looks like this. So there will be SOS bond. This was the first structure that we have done today. So this was how H2S2O7 looks like. Please see, we have just done it in the very starting. Please see, H2S2O7, clearly we could see that it has this SOS bond. So what you can do is you can just break this, put H on one and OH on the other one. So H here, OH here. So this is going to give you 2 molecules of H2SO4. So already we have done the concepts of the oxygen containing compound structures. And now we are bringing a layer to it. That's the beauty of inorganic chemistry. So whosoever is ranting inorganic chemistry has no idea about physics then. Physics you find logical. I am telling you, if you ask me to give a roast on physics, I'll tell you. They already know that the electrons are traveling in a certain way from one side to another, from the negative to positive, yet they take positive to negative. What is the point? Somebody who is doing so much of work, keeping the truckload of things on their head, they say work done is 0 because theta is 90 degree. Force into displacement into cos theta, cos theta is 90 degrees, so work done is 0. This is not going to make sense. Here, chemistry is so logical. Look at this. Everything is making so much sense here, isn't it? Now, can you try how would you write? I have given you H2. Okay, you guys tell me first the bonding in H4. Would you like to try? What will be the product of hydrolysis of H4P2O6? Does it have phosphorus with a delta plus? Yes. Product of hydrolysis of H4P2O6. Please tell me, are you able to figure out? See, Srinidhi, there will be two products because both are, see, when you're adding water, do you understand? Phosphorus has delta plus, it has empty orbital possible. So what is possible? Hydrolysis is possible. Now, to anyone, because it's symmetrical, to anyone you would be giving OH and to the other one you will be giving H, no. So there will be two products that you will be getting. So one we can clearly see is going to be H3. This one where you've given OH. So you can clearly see it is P, OH, OH, OH. So what is this? P double bond O, OH, OH, OH. This is your OG, phosphoric acid. But what about the other one? H, P double bond O, OH, OH. We've just done the name of this one. What is the name of this one? Now only we have just done it, right? What should we write? The product of hydrolysis of this, we can say it will be H3PO3, right? You have H3 now, P1, 2, 3, PO3. So phosphoric acid and phosphorus acid. These will be your products as per our understanding. Have to cram things then. Okay? Now, what about when we have a peroxy? So, what will give you a peroxy? We don't have it here. I'll just give you another example. What about this case? H4P2O8. What type of a bond will be present? And what will be the product of hydrolysis? Now you tell me. This is going to test all your skills, okay? By the time you do it, I'll get some water. Please do it. What kind of a bond are you getting? Correct. So calculated +4 + 2x minus 16 is equal to 0. So 2x is equal to 12. X is equal to +6. Calculated oxidation state +6 is greater than the maximum oxidation state for phosphorus, which is +5. So there is POOP bond. Great. This is OG. This is OH, 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 double bond O here. Now what you will do is, again, you can see phosphorus has delta plus, right? So it is possible that it will have OH here and H here. Similarly, this one also will have OH here and H here. So clearly it will have H2O2 coming from the peroxy linkage, and you will get 2 molecules of phosphoric acid. Understandable. Everything that you thought you had to cram has become so simple now. Okay. The other possibility from P block is now interhalogen compounds. So when you have interhalogen compounds, first you should know what is interhalogen, that you will have 2 different halogens. So in this case, always one will be more electronegative than other, right? It will always be the case that one is more electronegative than the other. For example, I'm giving you now questions which has come from JEE. ICL, ClF3, all of these are interhalogen compounds. You have to tell me BRF5. And the fourth one, which will not show product of hydrolysis, IF7. Can you tell me why will this not show any hydrolysis? IF7, can you tell me why no hydrolysis is possible in IF7? Correct. So now you understand the reason, steric crowding, very well. So this, because of steric crowding, is not possible. Now coming to the product of hydrolysis of these 3. Now can you clearly see ICL, different halogens, interhalogen, ClF, interhalogen, BRF5, interhalogen. Bromine 7 plus 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 by 2. Do you see? 12 by 2 is 6. The steric number was 6, but the side atoms available are 5. So it is square pyramidal that you have. One of the lone pairs is sitting. So yes, the water molecule can come and show the hydrolysis. So all 4 of them out of these 3 will show product of hydrolysis. They will show hydrolysis. You have to tell me for the first, second and third, what will be the product of hydrolysis. What you have to do again, one will be more electronegative than other, then write the delta plus and the delta minus, which will have delta plus and which will have delta minus. So delta plus here, out of chlorine and fluorine, delta plus here, bromine and fluorine, delta plus here. Vacant orbitals are available? Yes. Steric crowding? No. Delta plus on the element which has the delta plus? Yes. Now what can we do? Break it and make bonds as per opposite attracts. OH with the plus, H with the minus.